Hi, this is Natalie over at Chaos for Kisses. I just wanted to do a quick video to follow up on my post about Right Start Math versus Montessori Math. I'm hoping that this will help you see why I really feel like the beauty and simplicity of Montessori Math invites the child in and really inspires them towards mastery of the work and allows them to grasp higher concepts and do higher math at an earlier age, because the work is really broken down into each component, so you can easily see the progression of the steps to the final outcome, which is what I love about Montessori Math. And I feel like for the younger children, Right Start is a little bit too abstract still, even though it does have manipulatives. So I just kind of wanted to show you the difference between the golden bead material that's in Montessori work and the abacus that's used in Right Start Math. So let's start with the abacus. I noticed a few things that my daughter and a few of the other kids that I work with struggle with. And so this is my homemade version of the Right Start abacus. As you can see, it has 5 white beads and then 5 dark colored beads, and it is done that way to make it easier for counting by 5s. But the issue I notice with it is that once the child counts to 10, at this point when you're just starting counting by 1s, or even by 5s sometimes, but when they're counting and they get down to 10, then as an adult, the way I would do it is just continue on to 11. But what I observed the children doing is that they would start back over at 1 oftentimes if I wasn't prompting them. And so they were having trouble with the idea of this is not complete when you get to the end here at 10. Even though the bar ends, you can actually continue on to 11. And part of the reason I think that that's an issue is because there's no exchange, so they can't physically see that this is moving over to the 10 column and then we're moving on. Versus Montessori Math, that is set up like this, where we have one singular bead, and when you count 10 of these and lay them out on a mat next to one of these 10 bars, you can see that that makes 10, and then you move this over to the 10 column. And then you can continue on in the 1 column with the singular beads. And another thing that we can do with the Montessori material is a bead stair. And so the teen bead stair has this 10 set up, and you hang it on the stair, and then you would put the corresponding bead that goes in the 1 column next to it. So in this case, the red bead would be 11, and then there's a different color for each bead set, so 12, so the 2 has its own color, 3 is its own color, and so on and so forth up to 9. And so you would just put the correct stair into that number. So under 11 you put a 10 and a 1 red bead, and then you put the 2 bead, which I think is blue, I don't have it in front of me so I can't remember, next to a 10 to make 12, and so on and so forth. So there's a couple different ways that Montessori makes it really easy for the child to understand those concepts of 11 and 12 and teen numbers. And I think that extra step really breaks it down and makes it easier for a young child to really grasp that concept. Also, with the exchanging method, we can also exchange 10 of these for 100 square, and that allows us to then exchange 10 of these for 1,000. So we can count in the hundreds column, as many hundreds as we need to for whatever math problem we want to do. We're not confined to just doing math within 1 through 10, as is the case in most kindergarten programs. And I mean, not only can we do hundreds, we can go up to thousands because it's very concrete and it's right there for them. Versus Right Start, which really concretely only goes up to 100, so the child has to stay within that realm. But also most of the Right Start math is set up to teach the concept of 1 through 10. Obviously, the counting by 5s and 10s is one way that they do that. Another way that they do that is through counting with the tally sticks, which they count, 2, 3 is what they start with in the very first lesson. And then the next day they go on to 4. And then they show you how to do 5. And then they use that to show you how to count to 10. And then they have these finger cards and bead cards and dot cards and tally stick cards and number cards, and all of those count to 10. So it doesn't really allow the child the opportunity to explore other numbers beyond 10, at least not very concretely. And so because I know my children are capable, as they've expressed to me through doing their Montessori math material, of doing higher math, I want to give them the opportunity to do that, and I want them to feel like they have the confidence to do that. And because Montessori lays every single piece out so concretely, and the exchanging and every single bead is accounted for, then the child is confident in approaching the work and working with it on their own until they can acquire new concepts and new ideas, versus not being 100% sure how to work with it and looking to the adult for guidance. And for them to really be able to own their own work and to make the knowledge their own, they need to be exploring it on their own instead of having that knowledge imparted to them. So for our family, because of that, we have chosen to do the extra work and go back to Montessori. I chose to do Right Start for kindergarten because I thought it was going to give me a break and make it easier for me to teach, because it's a 15-minute segment. It tells me what to do. I'm not going to miss anything. I don't have to really prep for anything. It's all laid out right there. And that really appealed to me as a busy mom with a newborn at the time. But I didn't see my child turning on to math, and I didn't see the other kids in my home daycare excited about it anymore. And, it's not about me and the education of my children. It's about them learning to love, and especially a concept like math, which is really important to understand in a younger age, to be able to continue to build on those concepts and to not have any gaps there. I think Montessori really did a great job of making sure that there were no gaps by really very clearly expressing each idea and not leaving any of it to mental abstraction at the beginning. And that's the big difference. Also, the material is just really, really beautiful and just fun to handle. And I think that's very inviting for the children. So that's the reason that we have gone back to Montessori math. And if you want to learn more about my review on that, you can check us out at chaosforkisses.blogspot.com. And you can also join us on Facebook. Thanks.